God, please, no! 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 No!
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Thank you so much for watching part one of this series of the Bolens Tractor rebuild project. So right now we're going to be working on getting the carburetor put back together and getting the fuel pump installed, and try to see if we can get this thing running on its own instead of using starting fluid. So stay tuned and we'll see if we can get this thing up and running. While I was on the hunt for a new bolt for the carburetor bowl that I accidentally broke off in part one, I ended up finding that it is a difficult task to find. So I ended up searching eBay to try to find if I can get a replacement carburetor instead, and unfortunately the results were shocking. They were ranging from anywhere between $200 up to $500 for a carburetor that fits this tractor. After a few days of scouring eBay, deciding on whether to scrap this tractor for how much these carburetors are going for, I came across one for about $120 by the seller Buzz. The carburetor is in pretty bad shape. It was rusted and all over the pictures, and so I messaged him because he didn't show pictures of the carburetor bowl. I asked him, hey, does this have a bolt to it? He replied saying yes, it does. The seller had a make me an offer, so I sent him an offer of $60 and explained to him that the carburetor is pretty well rusted and in pretty bad shape. And I says that I can try to get some parts off of it, but I'm only interested in a couple pieces on it. Would you be willing to take $60? He counteroffered to $80 and said that he'll be covering the shipping costs for it, so I don't have to pay for the extra shipping. So I hesitated on it and thought about it for a couple days, and then I accepted his offer to pay $80 for the carburetor. So now I placed the order, and now we're just waiting for it to come in.
You have a new notification. Your package is here.
So I'm super excited. The package finally came in. Fortunately, this guy costed me about $80 just for that stupid screw that I made a mistake on, of using a torque wrench instead of a regular socket wrench. And yes, I made the mistake, and I hopefully don't do it to this one. So open her up. Come on. And there it is. All it's crusty and ugh. I see. It's all that is what I'm after. So a little fun fact that I found out, that on this side here it has the manufacture date. So this one says this was manufactured in November of 1979. So this guy is over 40 years old, and that also could be a reason why that screw snapped as well, because it's old. And on this one, Looks like this guy was manufactured February of 1981. But it looks like they're the exact same carburetor. Bolt configurations are the same. Let's see what we're working with here. Alright, now that the carburetor bowl has been put back together and the bolts in there nice and tight, I got the new barred fitting on here to replace this old fuel pump module that no longer is in production anymore. Let's head over to the tractor and get this all back together and see if it will run. So it's day 2 of working on putting this carburetor in. So I ran into a little issue the other day that the bolt hole here, apparently as I was trying to put the new carburetor in that I got, the bolts weren't threading in. This one threaded in there just fine, worked in there perfectly, but for some reason this one is going in there pretty tight. I don't remember while looking at the footage to see did I accidentally pull it out at a weird angle, but by looking at it, it looks like I just pulled it out perfectly straight. So I don't know if I was trying to put it in, I accidentally bent the fins of the threads on the block. So hopefully I don't have to re-drill those holes out and re-tap it. So I went ahead and at O'Reilly's, I got this thread restoring file tap die kit. So I found out that it's a 5/16 by 18 thread. So I want to take this guy here and try to see if I can fix those threads by putting this guy in here and hopefully go in as straight as possible and try to fix the threads in there without having to re-drill it and re-tap it, because I really don't want to do that. So on this one, you can see that it threads perfectly. So that thread's fine. And when I move over to this one, threads in part way and then it gets stuck right there. I don't want to go too far in there and cause some issues, so I'm going to try to see if I can straighten this out a little bit and hopefully be able to get this tapped and we can put the carburetor in. all this is just temporary. I just want to see if this will actually start. Alright, the wait that everyone's been waiting for. So far, so good. No leaks yet.
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
See this guy right here? Well, that holds the throttle, basically the throttle adjustment. Well, this guy was pretty loose, so I went to go tighten it up a little bit. Just my luck. Snapped. Again. It's not one thing, it's another. Story of my life. I was able to remove the broken screw, and thankfully I had a box of assortment of screws that I had laying around that I was able to find one as a replacement to fix it. This is the next day. This is going to be try number 2 or 3 of trying to get this tractor starting after I got the throttle linkage fixed and the carburetor installed onto the tractor. I've done the starting fluid about 5 or 6 times on the carburetor and see if maybe I can get the fuel pump to get fuel in the system, and I had no success. It was the same exact results. It ran off of the starting fluid and then it just died. So I think it might be the actual carburetor itself, because the carburetor that I got off of eBay is a little bit different than the one that's in my tractor. So this one has like a feed gauge right here, and on mine does not have that, because on the old bolt that my carburetor had, it had little holes on the side, kind of like a banjo bolt, like how you put on a brake caliper or on the brake system. And this one that I got off of this carburetor was just a bolt without the holes around the side of it. I was kind of worried that was going to be an issue. I thought maybe that it was not going to sit in there deep enough so that the fuel can go through still through the slots on the carburetor. But apparently it's going to be an issue, because this one has a thread right here for the fuel. So looks like I'm going to try to clean this up, hopefully save it. Keyword hopefully. And see if that fixes the issue.
Several days later.
Came back into town, got me some Berryman's Chem Dimp. Hopefully I could be able to soak the carburetor that I got in the mail into this and hopefully kind of clean up the pores, because I've tried to file single pores in here, but some of them are pretty clogged. So hopefully maybe letting it sit in this Kim Dip carb cleaner, maybe overnight. I'll check on it over tomorrow morning, but I might end up leaving it in there for probably 24 hours. So hopefully this doesn't destroy this, or that would be a waste of 80 bucks. Because I do not want to pay $400 for a stupid carburetor. Because that is not worth $500. That's probably how much I could probably get out of it if I want to flip it. So, see if this works.
24 hours later.
Alright, so it's been a little bit over 24 hours since the carburetor's been put into the Kim Dip. So let's go ahead and open it up and see how it did. Somehow, all the footage that I had of me cleaning the carburetor and installing the carburetor onto the tractor, the files became corrupted. So we're just going to jump right into me trying to start the tractor with this new carburetor installed. Well, that's not good. Well, that was a success. Downside is smoke started coming out of here when I turned the blade engaged. So either A, belt is seized and it's causing to burn up, or there's a bunch of crap underneath there. It's causing it to leak, or not to leak, which is causing it to burn up. One thing I'm going to have to look into is this throttle linkage, because when it's running, it tends to vibrate the linkage down. So it's either the cable needs to be tightened a little bit, or something's going on with the actual linkage of the throttle. Another thing is I'm going to have to make a box for the battery, because right now I have a bungee strap holding it down because it was vibrating. And the old battery that was in here was a top post battery, instead of like these kind of style batteries where you put a bolt and hold it in. So I'm going to try looking to see if I can look up and see what's the recommended battery for this. Maybe I could use a lawn and garden one. Running fine. So stay tuned for part 3. There's gonna be some things I'm gonna have to do on this. I'm gonna try to clean it up, trying to find a replacement seat for this, because the seat's pretty well shot. So I'm gonna have to find a replacement seat for it, and see what anything else I can find on this tractor. Hopefully there's nothing wrong with it. So stay tuned for part 3. If you want to turn on the post notifications down below so you'll get notified when the next video gets uploaded. Thanks so much for your guys' support on the part 1 video. That guy got over 1,000 views within like a week. So I do appreciate your guys' support on that. So finally got this up and running. Let's see what we can do next. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.